with Graham Rahal.
Well, Graham, after seeing that, I see the helmets off, the car's packed up, ready to go. Do you wish you were back out there?
Yeah, I do, to be honest. But from Laguna, that's it. So
you got the telegraph?
Yeah, pretty much. No, I mean, it's the quick trim guys have worked really hard today, and to be honest, the car's been a little bit on edge through both qualifying sessions, more than we'd like, certainly. But so far, so good. You know, I mean, for us to even be in the top 9 here, the top 3 rows is pretty impressive. And so we'll, you know, from here, just move on, work tomorrow on the race setup, and hopefully have a good one next weekend.
Yeah, you didn't even know where you would be a few weeks ago. Now you're here. You made the shootout itself. Currently, you're in 6th spot, but qualifying's done. The race setup, you have to be looking forward to that as well, because you looked like you were in control of the car then.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that we certainly we didn't have the speed for pole. So for us, just to put in the top 3 rows, it doesn't really matter from there. As long as you got a good car. That's what counts, the race. And so right now we're going to focus on that and make sure that the quick trim car is fast next weekend.
Q6 for Graham Rahal, and quick trim car is fast, and I hear Kim Kardashian's coming as well.
Yeah, that's right. And Will Power is going to come back and take another shot at it. Now, he right now is not on the front row. He's P4, so he's trying to knock himself up into the front row. And he begins the run. Right now, he's at 226.4. He needs a 226.554 to knock his teammate Briscoe off the front row.
I think he's got it.
Do you?
Yeah. Just my gut. Not looking at anything that you got over there.
I think I picked him to win pole today, didn't I? It's been so long ago.
Sure you did. Sure you did. Just go with it.
Hey, fellas, keep in mind, on top of everything, there's pride at stake for Team Penske. The last time that he swept the front row in an Indy 500 starting grid was all the way back in 1988.
Well,
so that's something to shoot for.
All he has to do is keep this run going. It's a 227.382.
And he's going faster.
Wow.
He's picked it up.
And it's only 5:25.
That's right.
There's 35 minutes left of practice, and it's only going to get a little bit quicker as we get to that later hour.
Bob, he's creeping up to 227.6.
Really?
Yeah, he's on it.
Second lap completed. It's a 227.597, almost a 227.6.
So when he was kind of giving us the sign to say, oh man, I don't know how I can do this anymore. How does Elio? He's doing a pretty good job.
He sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he pulled a 232.2.
That's there you go.
That's the number.
That's
he had a 32 turn into turn number 1.
That's the magic.
It's getting cooler. They're getting faster down that front straight. Now this time, I think he'll get his 227.6, Bob. He missed it by 3 1/1000ths last time. He did.
227.650. This will put him on the outside of the front row. Knock Ryan Briscoe back to the inside of the second row.
Very consistent laps. This will be a high. Actually, he's doing great in turn 4. He might pull another 227.6.
Checkered flag waves. Did he move up? And this fourth lap is 227.682, 227.578.
Well, that shows us that somebody's got enough speed to take a shot at Elio before this thing's out.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
So that moves him up to P2. They're moving Briscoe out of line. And now Dario Franchitti is on the outside of the front row as Scott Dixon moves in line. Down to Jack.
All right, guys, here's the chess game and what's going to start to unfold. We're getting down to the golden moments in qualifying. And what I mean by that, you see over my shoulder, see the sun in the long main grandstands? Well, right now it's occluded by clouds, and that's a plus. But as that sun begins to dip and head more towards sunset, with probably about 6 minutes to go in this session before the gun goes off at 6 o'clock. That sun will be behind the grandstands, and that means the entire front straightaway will be shadowed. And you know what that means? It'll be cooler, and if it's cooler, it should be faster.
Of course, it got darker earlier when we were on Central Time, but we're on daylight time now, so the shadows don't get there quite as soon as they used to. But Scott Dixon is on the racetrack. He right now is in P7.
You know, in comparing him to his teammate Franchitti, it hasn't really looked as though he's had the sheer speed by himself, but let's see if they put some of the things they learned on Franchitti's car that last run, put it over here to Dixon's car, and just see if it kind of brings this thing to life just a little bit to see if he can challenge to be on that front row.
Now, we were told that after his first run that they changed springs, so that's a fairly wholesale change, and again, why not try different setups if you're not going to lose your time?
Nothing to lose.
The battle between Roger Penske and Chip Ganassi is on. Franchitti, Matt Dixon takes the green flag and begins his run. Tracker down at the bottom says 7. That's where he is right now.
He turned in at a 230.1. So a noticeable difference in turn-in speed.
A little bit of sparks, just car bottoming out as tire pressures are coming up, as we've seen on others.
225 range. 225.2.
275, yeah.
So, not responding on his car to what responded on his teammate Dario, if that was the same thing in terms of that spring direction.
Well, it's good conditions, but when someone has got the kind of muscle that Castroneves has, it's going to take a miracle to make that kind of change in that short of time.
Second lap is 225.588 for Dixon. Tracker still has him in 7th position, however.
He did pick up a little bit of speed on the front straightaway that time. He did just pop into 231. He did gain some front straight speed.
Now up to 6th, it says, as the white flag comes out. Lap number 3 is 225.862.
So it's the same trend that we saw from him earlier. Every lap a little bit quicker. Franchitti, the same thing, every lap a little bit quicker, but just at a little more pace than what his teammate Dixon has.
Guys, the reason that Dario Franchitti just got pushed out, it's all about the sun. Those clouds I showed you, they just started to pull out, and the sun got bright, and the track temperature started to escalate. This is the gamesmanship that we're going to be under for the remaining 30 or so minutes here now. You want a cloud, and you also want it fast. Hey, you can gamble.
Scott Dixon's 4-lap average is 225.891. He gained 2 positions and is now on the outside of the 2nd row in 6th starting position. More coming up on pole day at Indy. The epic cycle continues on Versus with daily coverage of the Amgen Tour of California. 3-time champion Levi Leipheimer looks to defend his crown as he rides against Andy Schleck. David Zabriskie, and the world's best cyclists across the tough terrain of California. The Engine Tour of California tonight at 6:30 on Versus. We have been at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.